Well, we'll start this with what you got for being on the relay, which is obviously the armor collection, which includes the longsword skin. If you logged in at all into Warframe yesterday from 9 AM ET onwards, you will receive it. They sent it to everybody. Everybody who logged in, because there was a slight problem in the relay, which meant some people saw the live action stuff that was going to happen in the relays. Most people didn't, because the relays kind of bugged out. Because there was that many people logged into Warframe, it pretty much killed the servers dead. You'd think they would learn, but no. Everything else worked perfectly fine, even though there are still people saying they don't get it. You have to go to the drops inventory on Twitch to actually claim your rewards. These things were still there. I'll admit, that did bug out for me. I had to refresh it a few times before I got it to appear, but it was there. This was Twitch related and seemed to work kind of fine. Some people still had problems, but this ended up going to anybody who logged in from 9 AM ET. Everybody basically got the armor collection, including the longsword skin. But that's not the skin we want to concentrate on this one. Oh no, TennoLive, well, was kind of a lot of unexpected stuff and a lot of expected stuff. It started with Nidus Prime, and Nidus Prime should have been the big thing to start off with. Nidus Prime was on the screen for about 30 or 40 seconds, and then they kind of went, oh, somebody's joined. Oh, Warframe on mobile. Hey, everybody else is like, no. Wasn't there a game last year, or was it the year before? When they announced it was coming to mobile, it pretty much killed the game dead. This actually had the opposite effect, and I was watching the chat, and a lot of people were very, very happy. And it was amazing how many people figured this out so damn quickly. I mean, wow. While they were showing this off, they jumped into something that everybody has been asking for the longest of times. And then it happened. They didn't as much say it as, oh, PlayStation's joining. Oh, Switch. Xbox, mobile, PC, yes, they are finally adding crossplay, which means exactly what it says. You can play with your friends on console, all consoles, and PC, and mobile. This was kind of huge, but then Sheldon, who was playing on mobile, kind of did something even more unexpected and swapped over to the Xbox with the same game save. Ta-da! Cross save is also coming. Yes, this brings cross save and cross-play to Warframe. Finally. All they are saying is it is confirmed as being in development. They will announce more soon. The next dev stream is going to be pretty huge at this point, because that whole relay thing from earlier, they are going to show again. Not only that, it raised way more questions we're going to get into in the future, but, well, there was the Obsidian skin, the Jade skin, and the Switch skin I can never remember the name of, and that's still bugs me because it does look pretty nice. Then they kind of went over what should have been shown in the relays, which was, yes, back to Nidus Prime, which I'm kind of hyped for crossplay a little bit more. Crossplay overwhelmed Nidus Prime's announcement. As they do every year, they showed off the new upcoming Prime, and well, not as much of the abilities, though they did in the art panel show what the helmet and what the, I don't have a picture of it, but what the maggots are going to look like, because the maggots for Nidus are also getting a prime effect. But they went through the relay, they showed, honestly, a bunch of stuff that makes sense, but also goes on about things from the past, because the new war according to what they were saying, as you could probably tell by what's on the screen, it's going to take place a bit in the past and the future and the present. The new war is pretty much where the rest of this video is going to go, because the new war itself was something like half, a little bit over half, of the entire TennoLive 2021. It was huge. And when they jumped into it, they started with a bit of a surprise. You don't actually play as a Tenno or as a Warframe. You play as, well, they started with Cal 175. You play as a Grineer, which was unexpected. Very, very unexpected. I thought, well, yes, they are going to be doing this in such a way that it's basically the entire origin system versus the sentient. So the Corpus and the Grineer are going to be helping you. That's what I expected to see here. Not you will be playing as Grineer. Oh, and let's not skip over this. Vezo R. So you will be playing as the Corpus too. There was, well, they are both being attacked by sentient, which is kind of expected. Talked to a few people about, well, what's going to go on with the abilities, because Carl throws a grenade and Vezo controls robots. That is shown more than once, and the use of the robots looks very interesting, but it means that this quest is going to be hugely just long. No, I'm not going to go into too much other details about the new war quest that they showed, because there wasn't really many spoilers here. We can put it that way. They showed off a lot of different aspects. Yes, the Grineer side of it takes place on the plains of Eidolon. This was expected from the teaser trailer when all of that kind of released last week, because, well, it lands at Cetus. Expected it to be there. Corpus being in space, also kind of expected. The fact that, oh god, searching through all of this footage is going to be a nightmare, but Alad V actually turns around at one point and says, we're about to be under new management, look outside. Okay, wouldn't he be one of the bosses? One of the people in charge, not the person in charge. For the Corpus, depends how you want to look at it. The Grineer have the queens, the Corpus have their own, but for the life of me I cannot remember what that is offhand. That is something I should probably know, but for the life of me cannot remember who is actually in charge of all of the Corpus. But hey, would go kind of horribly without saying, you get to play as one unexpected person. You probably know exactly who it is at this point, but yes, Teshin, helped by orders. But my huge takeaway from this, more than anything else, I've said it for years, it's his swords. Yes, the dual-wielding Nakana in action. They seem to have some kind of elemental thing to them. You can see him swapping between them from time to time, and using the Orvis to get around very, very well, in fact. It's, out of all of this, yes, playing as the Grineer was massively unexpected, playing as the Corpus also, but playing as Teshin himself, the dual-wielding, oh, I was so happy to see the fact that you were actually using his dual-wielding weapons, but I'm also kind of interested to see if this will ever actually be made into a weapon that the Tenno can get a hold of. I can think of many ways that they could do this. They have said they are ceremonial in the past. Well, you could do something and help him in a certain way where he gives them to you. They could make a whole quest about that, or they could do the unthinkable. And yes, I'm going to say it, even though I have no idea if it's a thing. I'm just going to say that one in advance. They could kill Teshin and you take them from his dead body. That would be a way to get a hold of them as well. A kind of messed up way to get a hold of them, but it would be a way to get a hold of them. They, in video games in the past, they have killed off main characters. Oh, okay. Dare I? All I'm going to say is, if you know, you know. If you don't, well, you don't. It is something that, if they really wanted to, they could. Hopefully they don't, though, because that would be really horrible, because seeing Teshin in action, actually playing as Teshin, was huge. The dual-wielding Nakana and the ability to... It might just be an ability Teshin has, the elements are added to the melee weapon, but it's also the fact that, how to put it, he has the dual-wielding swords and the Orvis, so he's using 2 melee weapons at once. It was a really, really long kind of trailer for this, and I would love to sit and go through every single aspect of it, going, ooh, look at this, and ooh, look at this, and ooh, prime weaponry that somehow just magically appears after a bunch of Grenier have been killed, even though the Grenier don't use prime weapons. That happened. But with, I think at one point there was, well, for quite a while there was over 500,000 people actually watching Warframe on Twitch. I think the highest I actually ever saw it was 558, I do believe it was. Could have been 548, hence I said over. I know for a fact it was over 518,000 people for quite a while, but it may have gone higher, I have absolutely no idea. But Warframe basically yesterday broke the servers, broke the website, sold out of the new merch that they announced, which is basically floofs, but somehow, after the show had finished, had them back in stock. But hey, we're not going to go down the route of merch, I'm only mentioning it because it's sold out so quickly. I'll admit one thing, I was over the moon. I managed to get in there like a few people and actually order one of those, and I only wanted for one thing. And then I don't care what happens to it. I may give it away, to be honest, because I don't have anywhere to put it. It just sucks that I'll never get a hold of the Volt statue, because since it went up for sale, it hasn't gone up in price. But no, we're not going down that rant. This isn't about that. But TennoCon 2021 started huge, got better. At least TennoLive did. TennoCon itself, I watched pretty much all day, and they showed a lot of interesting stuff, but a lot of it was about pre-existing stuff, and it's all basically about the new war, confirmed coming 2019. And when this changed over, I will admit I nearly crapped myself, because at one point it looked like it was going to say 2029. And I thought, no, there wouldn't. I know it would be funny, but no. But yes, it is coming. The new war is now 100% confirmed, coming later this year. Hopefully crossplay will follow very closely behind it, because, well, I would love to see crossplay arrive at the same time. They did mention stuff about new frames and other stuff, but it was basically a sketch of a new frame. Looks like it's going to be a Revenant-based style frame. But everything about this was basically about the new war, where the best part of all of it is the fact you could play as the Corpus and the Grenier and as Teshin. They've added players into the game that are playable, that aren't just Warframes. Yes, you can now play as the Operator. There was zero news about the Void open world, which was kind of unexpected, just simply because that's a bit late. But I think everybody would rather have the new war, news about the new war, news about crossplay. I mean, cannot stress that one enough. The crossplay side of this, with the cross save all confirmed now, and what I like probably most of all out of everything TennoCon related, it was, or TennoLive related, it was all huge. They didn't show anything that kind of wasted time, even though due to the server issues, the beginning of the show was kind of news roundups and other stuff, because they were trying to get everything working. so people could see all of the relay stuff. But the new war coming, the fact you play, again, I cannot stress this one enough, as more than just a Warframe with the... Oh, it's going to be great. It really is. And I was also amazed how many people, when you start playing as the Grineer, turned around and went, ooh, Gears of War, Gears of War. It's one of the reasons I actually like Warframe, because it's kind of, but not at the same time, and absolutely nowhere near Gears of War. But I will admit, because you were playing as a Grineer, it did have that kind of Gears of War massive armor aspect to it from where you were looking, but the Grineer had their own HUD. The Corpus had a different HUD. Teshin had their own. I actually had to take a second or third look at the number in the top right and think, what is that for? That's health and shields, obviously, because that's what it is when you're playing as a Warframe. Similar HUDs, just designed different, as you would expect. But, the funniest thing of all is the fact that at the very end, Excalibur turns up. Nothing really happens, but Excalibur turns up at the end, just like a typical Tenno, always late to the fight. And I think with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.